welcome to episode 71 of the What Shara Made podcast. Hopefully it won't be too dark. I've had a few setbacks today trying to film. We had the power go out this morning and it was off for several hours, which was when I had planned to film, but of course there was nothing I could do about that, so I'm filming now, and as you can see I'm in a different location than I normally would be filming, and that's because I can't use the other part of the house because it's full of people, which is fine. So I'm in a different place which is a little bit darker, but never mind. This is where I'm filming, so I'll just have to make do. I have actually got some lights on me, but some special like film lights, but I don't know how well they're working, and there's about to be a massive storm. So suddenly the sky has gone really, really dark. I'm next to a window, but I'm not getting much light, but never mind. We'll battle on and see how we go. I hope you've all been well since the last episode. I've been really busy and I kept thinking I won't film yet because I haven't really got anything to show, and I won't film yet, I haven't got anything to show, I won't film yet, I haven't got anything to show, and then I thought I better film because I'm about to go away on holidays and I won't get a chance to film for a while, and then I started to think about all the things I do have, and I thought, I do have enough for an episode. So I've got a few whips, I've got a few FOs, and I've got some design whips. So I might jump in. I'll show you one of my design whips that I spoke about on the last episode, and a few people have asked me about it, and I thought I'd show you. So you might remember this if you are a regular watcher. It's the crochet cardigan. You're going to see me reaching across here a lot because I don't have my normal table. I'm at a desk and I'm in a funny position, so excuse me for reaching, but I'm going to go off screen. So this is my crochet cardigan that I've been working on for a little while. It did go into hibernation for a couple of weeks because I've been working on some other things. It's kind of in the same position it was, maybe just a little bit bigger than the last episode, but no, it's probably quite a bit bigger than the last episode, I don't know. You'll see, you'll be able to tell. I'm working on this pattern. I've written up most of it and it's almost ready for testers, but we'll see how I go with that because I've got some other more pressing patterns that are definitely just about ready for testers. This one's being worked up in some Great Ocean Road alpaca in, I think it's called Bella, La Bella or just Bella, in a 4-ply yarn, and they brought out their 4-ply version of their alpaca just recently. So they've had a DK or 8-ply version of it for quite a while, and they recently released the 4-ply version. I cannot believe how dark it has gotten in just the last few minutes. If everything goes crazy, I might have to pause because the sky is black outside, and we've already had quite a few severe storms, which is why the power went out earlier, but I'll power on until I can't. So it's just the natural undyed colours of alpaca, and it's really soft and beautiful and light and lofty, really nice to work with, like just beautiful. I'm loving it. So that is this little cardigan so far. It's quite a simple design, just a cropped style, nice, easy to wear, really beautiful. I've already finished one that I have been wearing to death, which I believe I showed you in the last episode, and so it's got a little cuff here, so that's just some crochet ribbing there, just little stripes, Just stopped working on the sleeve there. That sleeve's almost finished because it's got 3/4 length sleeves, which you probably remember are my favourite, but not hard to lengthen the sleeves. I just had my neighbour come out of his house and he can probably see me through his window here, so hi. And that's going. I haven't started the second sleeve. So it wouldn't actually take that much time to actually finish this off if I really put my mind to it. So I should get cracking. Adjust my lights there. One's about to fall down. In a different space here, still getting used to it. And it'll have a neckband as well, which will be the same as the waistband. So yeah, it's my little crochet cardigan, and I'll actually show you the finished version of that cardigan as well, so you get a bit of an idea. It's on a hanger because I have been wearing this to death. So it's actually got buttons now. You can see the buttons. Got that little ribbed waistband, ribbed cuffs, the sleeves, and you can see it's got that ribbed button band as well, and just some brass buttons. Oh, and my jellyfish brooch. So it's very simple. It's very flattering because the waistband comes in nice and tight, but the body of the cardigan still, it's fitted around the bust but loose around the back, and that's actually a very flattering style where it comes in tight at the waist but it's loose around the back, and it gives the illusion of your waist being much smaller than it really is. And it's a little design trick there. So it's a good, simple, flattering design, really easy to wear. This is made with a cotton yarn. I believe it's called Cascade Ultra Pima Tones. Pretty sure that's what it's called. And this was the charcoal colourway, and I've been wearing it with pretty much everything. I don't even care if it goes. I've just been wearing it, and I have been getting so much wear out of it and so many compliments as well. Really enjoying wearing this cardigan. So I'm looking forward to getting that pattern off to testers really soon. So really happy with that design. Can't wait to finish my alpaca one off so I can wear that as well on cool evenings. Because obviously it's too hot to wear it during the day at the moment. So that's that design whip and a little bit of an FO. Now I've got a sort of an FO. It's practically an FO. I'm sure you'll forgive me for calling it an FO. You can probably hear the dogs going mental at the moment as well. I've got my sister's dog here too. She's on holidays. So I've got her little dog here as well, and my dog, and they're barking at the dogs next door. So everyone's having fun, and it's about to get really crazy outside. I wish I could show you the sky. It is so black, but it's not nighttime. So you will remember these socks because I started knitting them in June. It's now November, so slowest pair of socks ever. I didn't cast on another pair of socks and start knitting them in between and leave these ones in hibernation. This is the only pair of socks I've been working on since June, but they're finished. I have finally finished these socks. It's raining now, can you hear that? Oh my god. It's really chucking it down, like really chucking it down. Okay, I'll keep going until the power goes out. Anyway, I made a pair. These ones are still, this one, still on the needles. Because the only thing I haven't done is kitchened the toe. I haven't grafted the toe, but everything else is done. So I'm calling those finished at the moment. Well, they're like 20 seconds away from being finished, but I'm calling them finished. And I desperately wanted to get them finished. Well, of course I wanted to get them finished, but I really wanted to get them finished because I'm going away on holidays, as I said earlier. I hope you can still hear me over the rain. Oh my god, it is mental outside. Absolutely, it's like a crazy storm is happening like centimetres away from me here because I'm right next to the window. I'm going away in 2 days, and of course, I want to have a pair of socks to take with me, but I knew if I took these with me, I was literally only had that much to go on these, and they were just hanging around. Oh my god, there's just a waterfall coming out off the ceiling, off the roof now. If I took these with me, I would finish them in like half an hour, and then that would be silly. I'd be carrying around like a finished pair of socks, and that's annoying for travel. So I wanted to get these off the needles so I could put a brand new pair of socks on the needles for travelling, which is what I'm going to do. And I will probably put another pair of self-striping socks on the needles because they're perfect for travelling. You don't have to think about them, you can just sit and knit, which is perfect for travelling. So these ones are done. It only took me, I don't know, 6 months, so that's great. Hopefully the next pair won't take me quite as long, and I don't think they will because I plan on doing a bit of Christmas sock knitting while I'm away, so hopefully that gives me a bit of inspiration. So instead of tea this time, I do usually drink tea while I'm filming my podcasts, but today while I'm filming, it's actually Melbourne Cup Day. If you're Australian, you probably know exactly what that is, but if you're not Australian, or perhaps New Zealand-ish, a Kiwi, you probably don't know what Melbourne Cup Day is. And the Melbourne Cup is a horse race that's run in Melbourne, obviously, and in Melbourne we have a public holiday for it because it's a pretty big deal. Now, I don't get into horse racing at all, but I do get into champagne, and when someone else pours me a glass of proper, real, genuine French champagne, I am not going to say no. So when they did, and I wanted to grab my opportunity to film a podcast, I thought I'll just bring my champagne with me and film my podcast. So that's what I'm doing. So cheers. Beautiful. And my next FO is also a design piece, and it's just about ready to go out to testers, and I'll probably call for testers next week, I believe. But you'll see it on Instagram and Ravelry as well, as usual. Whenever I call for testers, I always do it that way. So this is a crochet piece, so not a knitting piece, another crochet piece, just like the cardigan, and it's a shawl this time. So I can't get the whole piece in the screen because I can't move back far enough, but look at the idea. Tassels, of course, because I love tassels. So, got quite a few different design elements going on. Sort of a little bit like a sampler, but in crochet. So, it's a little bit hard to see all the details there, but there's quite a bit going on. But it's not complicated, and while this one's done in a cotton and silk blend yarn, to be a little bit summery, there's nothing from stopping you from doing it in wool or alpaca or even a pure silk or a pure cotton. You could really do it in anything that you like. It would probably work beautifully in a bamboo yarn as well. Really versatile, this one. So it's been really lovely to work on. Thoroughly enjoyed it. This one is a DK weight. I'm also working on a fingering weight one as well, so you get the idea. Got this. You can wear it that way, or you can wear it a traditional way if you're, so get the idea. So you can wear it the traditional way, of course, over your shoulders, which I've actually been doing. It's very nice, just when I'm wearing like a sleeveless top or something, just chuck that over my shoulders, and it's very nice. And I like the way that the bobbles, when I'm wearing it this way in particular, does come down on my shoulders right there, in the perfect position right there. Very nice. Really enjoying that one. So enjoying wearing that around. I haven't got a name for it yet, but it is a variation on a knitted shawl that I designed about 2 years ago, I believe, called the Strata shawl, and it's sort of loosely based on that, but a crochet version, obviously. So maybe the name will be a variation on that. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. So that's been a really fun piece to work on. I've really enjoyed that. So I will be doing a call for testers for that very soon, so look out for that if that's something that interests you. It takes between 500 and 600 metres of DK yarn, and it will be a relatively short testing period, but it works up really quickly, really quickly. You could easily, very easily make it in a week. The testing period will be longer than a week, much longer, but you would have absolutely no trouble making one in a week. You could probably make one in a few days actually, but a normal person with normal life activities could make one in a week without any trouble. So yeah, it's very easy, no crazy skills involved, very achievable, but also very effective, if you ask me. So that is that. Wait, it's actually really warm, even though there's a massive storm happening outside. It's not a cold day. So that is that whip. Not really whip, it's a FO, because it's completely finished, it's blocked and everything. Nice textural elements going on. So I really enjoyed that. And that is made with, I've got the tag right here. This yarn here. The Fibra Natura Papyrus, which is, let me see if I can read this, 78% cotton and 22% silk. So, and that was beautiful to work with, so lovely. Really nice to crochet with. I haven't knitted with it, so I can't give you any information about how nice it is to knit with, but beautiful to crochet with. Not splitty, not fluffy, not dusty, beautiful, really lovely. So I'll happily work with that again. Really enjoyed it. So that is that FO. Now, my next one, I might have to stand up to show you this because it is a whopper. I don't know if I talked about this in the last episode because I don't know whether I'd actually decided that I was going to do it or not. Every year, Stephen West does a mystery shawl knit-along. It's a mystery knit-along, so if you're not familiar with that premise, it means you don't know what you're going to be knitting. You might know that it's going to be a pair of socks, or that it's going to be a shawl, or that it's going to be perhaps a sweater. That might be a bit tricky in a mystery knit along, but it's usually going to be a pair of socks or a shawl. They're the only two sorts of mystery knit alongs I've ever seen, actually. Anyway, this one was a shawl. His are always shawls, so you know it's going to be a shawl, but you don't know anything else about it. He tells you what yarn you need, and he might give you some advice on where colour placement might work best and things like that. So choose a bright colour here or a solid colour there, or a bold colour for this section, or a speckled colour works well here, or make sure colour A and colour C have high contrast to each other and things like that. But other than that, you don't know what you're doing, and you get one clue a week or a segment of the pattern a week for 4 weeks over the course of a month, and he does it every year in October. And I decided to do it this year. I've done it a few times over the years, and I decided to do it this year. And I was really glad that I did. Because you don't know what you're going to be knitting, you don't know if you're going to like it or not, but I do enough knitting that it didn't really matter whether I liked it or not. I think maybe if you don't do a lot of knitting and your knitting time is really, really precious, it could be a bit of a risky thing to do. If you discover you don't like it and then you've put in all this effort, then it might not be great for you. But I'm always up for an adventure. So I did it. I selected my yarns from Stash. I didn't get anything. Oh, sorry, that's not true. I did get something new to do it because it needed some silk mohair for one of the elements. So I did treat myself to a skein of that. I can see my next door neighbour watching me. He's like pretending to sweep, but he's looking at me. But the rest I chose from Stash. It took 5 skeins, so it's massive. I've got a little bit of leftover yarn, but not loads. One of the colours, I've got heaps actually. I could probably knit a pair of socks with them. But anyway, but here it is. It's huge. And I really love it. At first I was like, don't know. But the reason I was a bit like, iffy about it was because of the way my colours came together, not because of the shawl. Because I loved my colours in the skein, but once I put them together, I don't know, they were a bit different. But anyway, I love it now. Really, really love it. Really happy with it. So, I'll have to show you in segments because it's huge. It's absolutely gigantic. Right. So this section here is syncopated brioche. I don't know if you can see that, if that's obvious. And this is the mohair silk, and then some raised garter stripes, and then I really loved these holes, so much so that they actually inspired another pattern in me, which I'll talk about in a moment. Loved this part. Oh my god, this really excited me. So that is the mystery shawl. You can see here how I've got solid, sheer, solid, sheer, solid. The mohair that he used was quite a thick mohair, and mine was a lace weight, but I didn't realise there was a difference in the one that he had used and the one that I had chosen. I didn't realise. So when it came time to do that mohair section, I decided to double up my mohair, and then realised I may actually run out of my mohair if the mohair is used in a later section. But I didn't know whether the mohair was going to be used in a later section or not, because I didn't know what the later sections were going to involve. So I decided to just double it up every second one and do a sheer one alternately. So I actually really liked that. I thought that was a nice touch, and so I did the same on that one. How obvious that is. So I really like that. The other thing is there were like literally 5,000 yarn tails this section here, and he did tell you don't weave them in, I've got a plan for them, because you do this section first, which resulted in these 5 million ends. And he said don't weave them in, I've got a plan for them, you'll be fine. And so I didn't weave them in, and I'm just trying to fix my lights. And I thought, God, I hope the plan's really good, because I don't want to weave in those 5,000 ends. Like, normally I don't even care, it does worry me to weave in lots of ends. I'm not bothered by it, I quite enjoy it actually. But there was not really anywhere to weave those ends into. There just wasn't a place to weave them into. So the way that the knitting is done, there was not a space for them. So I was thinking, okay, I hope that plan's good. And he had a few ideas of what you could do with it. And one of them was to twist the pieces up, like twist the little yarn tails up and knot them. I don't know how apparent that is of what's going on there, but I quite liked it, and I like the sort of looks like little worms or something. I'm not really sure, but I really like it. I don't know if it comes across as that's what's going on there, if it just looks like you were too lazy to weave your ends in, or what the story is, but I actually quite like the look. If it also occurred on the other side, which it doesn't, it obviously would look better, because then you'd have a balance and it would look deliberate, but and like a design element, but that's not what occurred. So you just have it on one side, and I'm not a huge fan of asymmetry in design elements like that. They don't appeal to my very ordered brain. But that's okay. I need to branch out sometimes, so I did that little bloomy twist thing. This is actually the back, so I don't know. But I am going to enter this piece into my local agricultural show, into the craft section. So I am wondering how the judges will take to that. That might be a bit much, and they might just think I was too lazy to weave my ends in, or I didn't know how to weave my ends in. And I can see my next door neighbour just literally standing there watching me talk to you. Anyway, so I don't know how that'll go, but I guess I'll find out when the judgments come in. And I'll probably enter my crocheted shawl that I just showed you, the white one. I think I'll probably enter that into the show as well. And I might enter my Arcturus shawl, but maybe not, because I want to take that on holidays with me, and I have to hand everything in that's being entered into the show tomorrow. So I don't know. So I have been wearing this just sort of around the house because it's too hot to wear shawls at the moment. Woolen shawls anyway. I've sort of been wearing this like this. It's huge, hugeomous. Hugeomous is a word that one of my little nephews made up, but I think I've heard other people say it as well. It's very cute. So it's very much a schlanket. I don't know how, I'm still getting to know the colours, I think. Is that a diplomatic way of saying it? So here's another. I know I'm not doing a very good job at modelling this. So, yeah, it's interesting. I really love this bit. So, because I love this bit so much, and you might remember me talking in the last episode about struggling with some pattern ideas that I've been trying to work on for ages, like really struggling and really working really hard on them, and I sort of gave up a little bit. Not gave up, but I had to stop doing it because I wasn't getting anywhere. And just like I said in the last episode, I felt like I was wasting time because I was spending so much time and effort on trying to get this pattern to work and it wasn't going anywhere, that I was wasting time and I could be doing other things. So I stopped working on that pattern, and I moved on to other things and was doing other things, which was a good move. And then just recently, I think that piece probably helped. And then suddenly I was laying in bed and I thought, oh, that is what I need. That is the thing. Oh, yes. And I jumped up, I grabbed some needles and some yarn, and I started knitting away and writing some notes and doing some sketches and knitting. And it came to me, and that was exactly what I needed to do. And then that was before I went to sleep, and I quickly thought, I've got to go to sleep so I can get up in the morning and do that. And that's what I did. I went to sleep and I was really excited to wake up in the morning so I could jump out of bed and get cracking on that design. And it turned out to be exactly what I'd been trying to do a month earlier, but just couldn't quite get out. So I did need that month break, I think, and then to come back to it, and it has worked now. So now my next door neighbour is literally dragging a metal barrel across some concrete. So if you can hear that, my apologies. So that's exactly what I needed to do and exactly what I wanted to do. What I was trying to do was come up with a pattern for the yarn advent calendars, and I love to do that because I like to have something to knit with yarn advent calendars, but it's nice for other people to have something to knit with them as well, because I know that everyone loves having a yarn advent calendar and people love the idea of it, but people don't always know what to do with them. Sure, you can put them into your Cozy Memories blanket, or you can put them in stripes into a knitted blanket or a crochet blanket, for example, but that's not always what people want to do, and I didn't want to do that with mine either. I felt like my yarn advent calendar needed something a bit more exclusive. And it's totally fine, absolutely fine, if you do want to put it into your Cozy Memories blanket and you do want to put them as stripes in a blanket. That's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. But for me, I wanted something different. I wanted something that was only for my advent calendar. So I wanted to come up with something really special, and I thought, I've been thinking about it since May, and I just could not get anything to come out of my brain. And then it was probably about a week ago it just clicked. And last night I started working on it to do the prototype, and I've got a tester working on it at the same time, and I'll show you mine. You'll be so amazed. It's really good. Prepare yourself. It's so amazing. Are you amazed? Oh, I thought you'd be more excited. That's what I have so far. Hopefully by tomorrow I will have a little more, and it will be slightly more exciting. But there was a little bit of inspiration taken from the big holes in the end piece of that bit on the Stephen West shawl, because I really enjoyed that. And then that worked into another idea that I'd had earlier, but it needed a new extra element, so it came together. And that's what I've got so far, a little worm. So I'm really enjoying that. The fact that it's actually going to work. So it'll work with 10-gram advent calendars. It'll work with yarn that isn't advent calendars. You could do it in a solid colour if you wanted to. You could do it in just 2 colours. You could do it in any scrap yarn that you had. You don't have to have a yarn advent calendar to do it, of course. And I can't wait to show you. And I might even call for other testers, but you would have to be a quick knitter. But to be honest, you don't have to finish the piece to make it work, because it's not a complicated knit, and it just needed to be it's a small repeat, like it's the same thing repeated over and over again. Because with my patterns that I like to release for the advent calendars, I don't like them to be too complicated for a few reasons, but the main reason is when you're knitting in December, and it's especially if it's intended to be used for an yarn advent calendar, you're knitting every day in December. That's if you're trying to keep up with your yarn advent calendar. You don't want anything complex, you don't want anything too taxing, and you don't want anything that puts too much pressure on you. So you want to be able to have something that's really easy, really forgiving, and really easy to memorize, simple. You don't want anything where you have to keep looking at your pattern. It's got to be quick. You have to be able to bang it out in maybe half an hour or less. You don't want to have anything that's too taxing. It's December, everyone's crazy busy. Your mind's already full of other things. You don't want to have to put pressure on yourself with your knitting. That needs to be fun and relaxing. So I like to keep it simple. So if you wanted to be a tester for this, you don't have to finish it before December or anything like that. You just need to be able to do one small section of it and make sure it actually works. And then of course you can complete it in your own time. That's no problem. So if you feel like you want to be a tester for that, let me know if you feel like you want to be a tester. I'm being a bit vague about what it is, about what it looks like, because I don't really want to release what it looks like until it's done, because it needs to be a little bit secret. If you want to be the tester, I can show you pictures of it, but I'm not going to put it on Instagram or anything like that, make it public, for example. So and no pressure if you contact me and you see it and you're like, oh no, actually I don't want to do that, no pressure. But if it's something you think you might want to do, because you only have to do a little section, just drop me a line on Ravelry, and I can show you what it's going to look like, and you can see if that's something that appeals to you. It's 4-ply, and there is a little bit of lace work in it, but it's not crazy. You don't have to be a super duper experienced knitter. You need a little bit of patience, but nothing complex. If you've knit lace before, that would probably help, but you don't have to be an expert. Just drop me a line if it sounds like an idea you like. And you can find me on Ravelry and all the usual places, and I'll put the name down here again just in case. And one more thing before I do go, now that the storm is finished and the sun has actually come out, but it's on the other side of the house now, but that's probably not helping with the light at all. Hopefully this isn't too dark. I have got some pattern winners to announce. So I've got the year-long stash busting craft along winners to announce for both September and October. So if you can see your name here right now, you are the September pattern winner. So contact me via Ravelry and let me know which pattern on Ravelry, any pattern at all. Doesn't have to be one of mine, it can be anyone's pattern. Any individual pattern, let me know the name of the pattern and I will send that to you via Ravelry. And if you can see your name here now, you are the October winner of the year-long stash busting craft along pattern. So thank you both for participating in that craft along, and check out that thread in the Ravelry group, in the What Shara Made podcast Ravelry group if you haven't already, because it is amazing. There are so many amazingly gorgeous whips in that thread. They're really, really great. So if you need some inspiration, if you want to find some inspiration for Christmas knitting, for some gift knitting, check it out. There's a lot of Christmas gifts popping up in there at the moment actually. So pop along into that thread and you'll see some beautiful, beautiful pieces. So thank you very much for that. And a couple of times throughout this episode I mentioned that I'm going away. It's nothing big or crazy. I'm not going on a tropical holiday or anything like that. I'm just going up to Bendigo again, not for the Sheep and Wool Festival this time, wrong time of year for that. I'll probably go to the Bendigo Wool Mill though, because, you know, one in Bendigo. But I'm actually going for the Bendigo Blues and Roots Music Festival. So it's a pretty big festival and they have, I think, around about 150 acts play there over a 4-day period. I've already planned out my gig guide. They have an app with like a bit of a timetable or a calendar, I don't know what you call it, and you can mark out which ones you want to go and see, and then they're all sort of set in your calendar, and it's a pretty good app actually. At all different venues all around Bendigo, so that's really great. I'm staying right in the centre of town, so I can get to all the different venues really easily. And I've got friends that are staying as well, so that will be really fun, and we'll go and see lots of different bands and singers and things like that. And yeah, it should be a really fun time actually. I'm staying for quite a few days, staying for a few extra days so we can just sort of relax and hopefully get some knitting done. On one of the days they have a big concert in the park, and I plan on doing some mad, like, all day knitting. I'll sit in the park, listen to music and just knit the whole time. That's my plan. And I'm going to take a really comfortable cushion to sit on. Yeah. And I think that's about it. I'm sure I'll think of something really crucial that I wanted to tell you as soon as I say goodbye, but alright, it's been really nice chatting to you and I hope to see you all again soon. I think that's it. Okay, bye.